I want you two out of here now." The words cut through the room like a knife. The restaurant had gone quiet, eyes turning toward a white man in a pressed blazer already standing over their table. Mr. Dalton, the restaurant owner, face tight with fury. Andre and Alyssa looked up from their plates, forks frozen midair. Andre blinked. "Why would we do that? We just got our dinner." Dalton's glare deepened. "You two shouldn't have been seated here in the first place." Alyssa furrowed her brow. "But we have a reservation." Dalton scoffed. "That must be an error. We're fully booked." Without saying a word, Alyssa pulled out her phone, tapped a few times, then held it up with the confirmed reservation visible on screen. Dalton sneered. "That doesn't matter. I need this table and you're stretching things out." Andre kept his voice level. "We're not stretching anything out. We just got our meals. I don't care. I need this table for a VIP." Andre folded his arms. "We're not moving. We're paying customers." Mr. Dalton muttered under his breath and stomped off. But he didn't go far. He made a beeline for the waitress who had served them. "Why did you serve them?" he snapped, motioning to the black couple behind him. She hesitated. "Because they said they had a reservation." Dalton didn't bother hiding his tone. "You know, I don't want people like that in my restaurant, especially tonight." She frowned. "What's the fuss tonight?" Dalton lowered his voice. "You know the restaurant's for sale. The buyer's on his way. What kind of statement do you think it'll make if he sees them? Before we move further, tell us, where are you watching from? Drop your city or country down below. We love seeing how far these stories travel. Have you ever been treated unfairly just because of your skin color? What would you do if someone tried to push you out like this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you believe no one should be treated like they don't belong, like this video and subscribe to Story Arc. You won't want to miss what happens next. Just as the waitress walked back to the kitchen, the man who wanted to buy the restaurant stepped in. Dalton spotted him from across the dining room and quickly turned back to the waitress. "I have to make this deal or the restaurant will be closed," he said firmly. Then his eyes shifted toward Andre and Alyssa. "If you can't get them to leave, at least get them to change tables." The waitress gave a small nod. "All right, I'll do what I can." She walked back toward the black couple with a polite smile stretched across her face. "We're so sorry for the misunderstanding. We'd like to offer you a different table." Andre frowned. "Why do we need to move to a different table?" The waitress responded, "Something with a little more privacy where you can eat in comfort." Andre leaned back, clearly annoyed. "Look, I don't think so, okay? We're fine right now." But Alyssa gently touched his hand. "Honey, why don't we just move? I don't want to ruin the special occasion." Andre hesitated, then sighed. "Fine, but I don't like it." The waitress nodded. "Let me get your plates and we'll get you moved. It'll only take a moment." She took the plates of food from their table, turned around, and walked back to where Dalton was standing. "I got them to move." Dalton gave a smug grin. "Good, I'll handle it from here." He grabbed their check and made his way back over to Andre and Alyssa. "This is going smoother than I expected," he muttered under his breath. He stepped up to the table. "Here's your check." Andre stared at it, confused. "What's this? Did you send someone to swindle us?" Dalton replied flatly. "Swindle you? No, just to bring your food." "Oh, I suppose you're saying you want to stay and that we should serve you more food." Alyssa spoke up. "No, we just want the food that we ordered, or we're going to post this online." As she took her phone, placed standing on the table that has been recording everything, Dalton scoffed. "Who's going to believe people like you? This restaurant has a spotless reputation." Andre leaned forward. "Fine, we'll make that post. Yeah, since you have nothing to worry about." Dalton's confidence cracked. "Oh, no, no. We'll go ahead and move you so you can finish your meal." "I thought you'd see it our way," Andre said. Dalton straightened. "Of course. I'm going to need you to take care of your bill first." Andre blinked. "What? Why are you singling us out?" Dalton shrugged. "You wouldn't be the first to dine and dash. I've seen it happen countless times." Alyssa pointed at a white couple seated nearby. "Those guests don't have to prepay their bill." Dalton responded coldly. "Those people are getting special treatment like you." "You call this special treatment? I'll call it intimidation." Andre shot back. Dalton ignored him. "Are you going to pay or not?" Alyssa sighed. "Just pay it. We're going to pay eventually anyway." Andre pulled out his card, reluctantly handing it over. After Dalton swiped Andre's card and processed the payment, he gave a tight smile. All right, just hold on. The waiter will move you to a private room. Andre raised an eyebrow. When exactly is that going to happen? But Dalton just waved him off and walked away without another word. In the meantime, the waitress had already seated the potential buyer at a window table and whispered, Mr. Dalton will be with you shortly. Dalton approached her right after and said confidently, I got them handled. Set them up a table, put them in the annex. She blinked. The annex? You mean back there? We don't even use that. Dalton snapped. Well, we do now. I've got to talk with the buyer. He smoothed his blazer and crossed the room to greet the man with a practiced smile. Glad you could make it. The buyer returned the handshake. Can we go somewhere quieter? Absolutely, Dalton said, guiding him away for a private conversation. Meanwhile, the waitress returned to Andre and Alyssa. Your new table is ready if you'd like to follow me. They stood and followed her down a narrow hallway, but when they arrived, Andre stopped cold. What is this? They were staring at a dusty, poorly lit storage room with a tiny table shoved in the corner. The waitress looked down. Mr. Dalton wanted you back here. Alyssa crossed her arms. We don't want to be back here. This is not what we're paying for. But I brought your food, the waitress said weakly. Andre's voice turned firm. Tell your boss we're not sitting here. We are not second-class citizens. She fidgeted. I'm sorry. My hands are tied. Then I demand to speak to your boss again, Alyssa said, eyes sharp. Back in the lounge, Dalton was still speaking to the buyer, who said, I'm waiting for my general manager before we sign anything. Just then, the waitress peeked around the corner and gave a small wave. Dalton sighed. Excuse me, I've got a nuisance to take care of. The buyer nodded. Go right ahead. I'll wait. Dalton stormed down the hallway and into the storage room. I've had enough of this. You people always think you deserve special treatment. Andre kept his cool. We just want to be treated like everyone else, no better and no worse. Dalton scoffed. Well, what would you have me do? Alyssa replied, let us have a hassle-free dinner, like everyone else. Dalton threw up his hands. You are. That's why I put you back here. Why can't we be in the dining room? Andre demanded. Because I've got a major deal underway and I can't have you two jeopardizing it. Alyssa calmly warned, maybe we should post the video. Dalton sneered. Whatever. It's not going to matter in 5 minutes anyway. He turned and walked off. As soon as he was gone, Andre grabbed the phone, still recording everything, and uploaded the footage. Ever been made to feel invisible just for being who you are? What would you have done in their place? Drop your answer in the comments below, and if you believe respect shouldn't depend on skin color, like this video and subscribe to Story Arc for more stories that shine a light. Dalton strutted back into the lounge, smoothing his shirt and trying to look composed. But before he could say a word, he noticed the buyer's phone screen glowing and paused. The buyer looked up with a stone face. Sorry for the drama. Some customers just can't take no for an answer, Dalton offered. The buyer didn't blink. Speaking of answers, you want to give me one for this? He turned the phone and played the video Andre had just posted. Dalton's eyes widened, his face drained of color. Where'd you get that? The buyer leaned back slowly. My general manager just posted it online. Dalton's throat tightened. That's your general manager? Right then, Andre stepped out with Alyssa and said coolly, I see you've met the owner. The buyer turned toward them. Andre, there you are. So what do you think we should do? Andre looked at the buyer. That's up to you. I personally don't want to work with him. Dalton jumped in, desperate now. But if you sign the papers, the restaurant will be yours and I'll be gone. The buyer turned to Andre. Interesting point. What do you think about that? Andre met his gaze. How about he doesn't sign the papers and you'll be out of business? Dalton's mouth opened, but no words came out. He tried to push a smile, but the damage was done. He had tried to kick out a couple to close a deal, only to find out the man he mistreated was the general manager of the buyer himself. Sometimes the tables really do turn. Now the buyer has two choices: buy the restaurant and keep it moving, or walk away and let Dalton sink. What would you do? Let us know in the comments. And if you think character still matters more than color, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Story Arc for more true-to-life stories that reveal the truth behind the scenes.